Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for the Getting Started with Your CodeMonkey Pilot webinar. Whether you're joining us today live or via the recording, we want to welcome you, express how excited we are to be partnering with your school or district to bring coding to your students in a fun and engaging way. Throughout the presentation today, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. The moderator will be taking care of questions as they come in, and we'll also have a Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. The goal really today overall is just to make sure that as you get started with your CodeMonkey Pilot, that you feel confident in using the resource with your students. So let's go ahead and meet your team for the webinar today. My name is Angie Lintner. I am a customer success manager here at CodeMonkey. I've been here for about 3 years and within the edtech space for about 13. My counterpart, Lauren Rata, is joining as my co-host. She is a customer success manager for CodeMonkey as well. And she also has the delightful additional ability to work directly with you, the teachers, as our professional learning trainer. Thank you for joining us today, Lauren.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Lauren was a teacher for 12 years and used CodeMonkey in the classroom, so she's a great resource for us here at CodeMonkey. We would like to also invite you to follow us on all of our social media channels. You can see we are available at X, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Specifically, would like to send an invite out for you to join us on our Facebook teacher community group. This is a great space for educators to be able to collaborate with each other, share resources and best practices, and run questions past each other as you implement CodeMonkey in your classroom. Today's objectives for our webinar will first review the elements of a successful district pilot. We'll take a look at the Pathway to Learning, which is a tool meant to aid teachers in easily placing students in an appropriate course. And we'll do a very brief review of the types of courses that are included in your pilot. Lauren will do an overview of the teacher and student dashboard, and we will conclude with that question and answer session. So looking back at previous years that we have offered pilots, we took a little bit of a dive into what made a successful pilot. So for schools and districts that had an implementation of a pilot, what are the things they did in common that resulted in success of their desired outcomes by using the platform? So we identified 3 major categories for that. To have a successful pilot, schools and organizations focus on rostering, student exposure, and family engagement. In that rostering piece, to have a successful pilot, most will attend a partnership meeting. This is where we gather details to activate the pilot subscription. We discuss desired outcomes for the pilot and how we here at CodeMonkey can support you in meeting those desired outcomes. And then we discuss rostering and setup options as well. The second piece of that is what we're doing right now today. It's to train teachers on how to utilize the resource to really get you comfortable with how easy it is to use so that you are then able to go into the classroom and implement it with confidence. Moving on to that second piece, that's the student exposure portion. We found that the most successful pilots had teachers that were accessing the teacher resources frequently, including the lesson plans. More successful teachers also assigned courses regularly, making sure that students had enough content to continuously work through. And of course, the final part of that is analyzing and reflecting on student progress and proficiency to ensure students are first in the appropriate course for their skill level, that they're not being too challenged and not feeling successful, or on the opposite, feeling it's too easy. So by reflecting and analyzing data, teachers are easily able to identify whether a student needs an adjustment in their course. And then finally, we all know that regardless of what the content is, that home-school connection is always going to make students and schools more successful. That is no different with the pilot. So we do encourage piloting schools and districts to celebrate when students have an achievement by completing a course, using those certificates that are included and embedded in the app. And then we also have a parent letter. We recommend that you send that home. It has links to some of the videos we will be looking at today that will be helpful for parents to understand the resource their students will be using and what they'll be working on. This is just a small portion of what we have found to be key indicators of a successful pilot. We do have a pilot success guide, and that will be emailed to all of our participants along with the recording of today's webinar. So let's go ahead and take a look a little bit at CodeMonkey and get a little more context for what the application is.
And done. Check out this game I created.
You created a game? How?
With CodeMonkey.
What's CodeMonkey?
CodeMonkey is the coding platform loved by kids of all ages and trusted by parents and teachers all over the world. Learning to code is similar to learning a foreign language. It's a demanded skill that opens the door to endless possibilities in today's world and builds up confidence. Coding helps kids to navigate easily and safely in the digital world today. Kids love learning to code with CodeMonkey's engaging game-like courses. It's valuable, safe, and fun screen time, which helps nurture problem-solving skills, logic, and creativity. From block-based courses for pre-readers to Python and game development for teens. With real text-based coding, learn to code like a real developer. CodeMonkey is designed for pre-K to 9th grade students. Now any teacher can easily bring coding to the classroom with ready-to-use lesson plans that include assessments and grading. A powerful teacher dashboard allows you to effortlessly manage students and track their progress. CodeMonkey seamlessly integrates with other teachers' tools and is fully aligned with main curriculum standards. Students enjoy CodeMonkey's lessons. Games and challenges are built with pure interaction and collaboration in mind. No coding experience is required from a teacher. All you need is a computer with access to internet. CodeMonkey opens a world of possibilities and interests for all students. Anyone can learn to code with CodeMonkey.
And you know what? This is a lot of fun.
Fabulous. Thank you, Lauren.
And done.
There we go. So to just recap a few of those key points, CodeMonkey is a leading Coding for Kids program. It provides engaging online courses for students to learn how to code. We also have guided courses for computer science topics. CodeMonkey was designed with teachers and schools in mind. It is aligned to ISTE and CSTA standards. It includes curriculum for grades pre-K through 8, and no prior coding experience is needed to teach with CodeMonkey. So one of the most frequently asked questions we get here at CodeMonkey is, what course do I start my students in? So we've developed this really awesome visual tool to kind of just give you a quick glance and idea of what the learning pathway is for CodeMonkey. You can see that for grades K through 2, we start students off in block-based courses. Those are found in CodeMonkey Junior and Beaver Achiever. Moving into 3rd grade, students are transitioned to text-based coding, and text-based coding can be found in Coding Adventure as well as Dodo Does Math. Also, between grades 3 through 5, students would be introduced to their first guided course with digital literacy and fluency. And then moving into the higher grades 6 and above, students get access to the game builder and the challenge builder, where they use what they've learned to begin building and creating their own games and challenges. They then move into the next guided courses, which are data science and artificial intelligence, followed by the most advanced coding course that we provide, which is Banana Tales, and that teaches Python. both in the Banana Tales course as well as in coding chatbots. It's really important to note that this is just a guide. We know that teachers are going to know best what the skill level and prior exposure for their students is. So this is just a guide and can be tweaked as needed to ensure that your students are getting access to the course that is just right for them. This link will be included with the recording to today's webinar, and basically will provide you with an overview of all of the courses that are going to be included with your pilot. Each one of the slides in this link or deck is going to provide you with details about a specific course. You also get a copy of the Pathway to Learning. But in general, we have several courses in terms of the actual coding courses. We have 9 mini courses. We have monthly courses that are released every month that are brand new monthly activities. And again, we have those 2 courses that support student creation, which is the Challenge Builder and the Game Builder. So we encourage you to really dig into this once you get access to it, so you have a general understanding of what each course will present and offer to your students. And now I'm going to go ahead and hand everything over to Lauren, and she's going to demo the teacher and student dashboards. Take it away, Lauren.
Thanks, Angie. Like she mentioned, I'm here now. Not saying it's most important, but this is probably what a lot of you are wanting to dig into. Getting on your teacher dashboard is most important, and getting accustomed to it so that you can begin implementation with students. So first, before we get started, I am going to take the screen away from the slides and show you in real time within that teacher dashboard. But before I get started with that, I just want to remind you on the ways of signing in. So if you want to follow along, maybe if you have 2 screens, if you could pull up on a second device, whatever you'd like to do, or you can just follow along with me right now. But you will go to that codemonkey.com/users/sign-in and sign into your account. Remember, you guys are participating in the pilot. So the great thing about the pilot, it is unlimited seats until the end of this 2024-25 school year. That might be for some of you all end of May. It might be for some of you all end of June. I guess we'll see what the weather brings also in the upcoming months for some of us. So I hope for an early summer for you all, but just know you have until the end of your school year. We do have a variety of ways for teachers to sign in, and it kind of depends on your school and or district and the way that they're choosing. I'm going to tell you about a few of the ways, and then you can decide what's best for you, or talk to maybe your district IT or the school leader, whoever's in charge of your pilot, and they will help to guide you on that as well. Also, like Angie mentioned, we are providing a pilot guide with this recording. So we'll send you a link to that so that once you figure out, well, how am I signing in for both myself as a teacher and for students, you can access that guide for specific directions on your method. But as you can see here in this screenshot, you can sign in a variety of ways. You can use the manual usernames and passwords if your district chooses to use that, or your school. But you can also do the single sign-on with Google, Clever, Office 365, and ClassLink. And know that it is available if your district does decide to move forward, and they are a site or district license. We do have the full rostering via ClassLink and Clever, so you could also sign in through those portals as well. So without further ado, like I mentioned, I am going to kind of come out of my screen here, and so that I can pull up my teacher dashboard. So I'm going to give it a second to make sure it all pulls up here. And Angie's shaking her head. Thanks, Angie, in case there's a delay. As you can see, I'm signed in. So that's that next step after you're signed in, depending on, like I said, your school and or district, how you choose to do that. This is what you will see, but you will see hello and your first and last name. A few things I'd like to walk you through before I get started here within our tabs are just some of the basics. This top left corner, and I like to say that this is one of my favorite tips or tricks, that if at any time you get lost in your teacher dashboard, and tell this to students as well, theirs looks similar, and I'll show you that here in a minute, that you can click on the monkey or the words CodeMonkey, and it's going to refresh and take you back here to this main teacher dashboard. So always use that as a resource. Next up here in the top right corner, you'll see that my avatar or icon is a flamingo, but just know if you click there, you can find it'll make sure you're on your account, so it'll have your first and last name. You can go to the My Account to find out more information. You can click the little avatar to change and make it something fun here from CodeMonkey if you'd like, or read more information about your account. As always, you can always go back, like I said, to the monkey or the CodeMonkey to get back. Also within here is your what we call your My Profile option. Students have this as well, where you can see it'll take you down to our Discover tab, which we'll go into here in a minute. As well as here's what I wanted to show you. This little pencil icon is going to let you edit your cover image. So just kind of makes it fun. So I'll go back here. And then over here to the top right corner, I like to call this the hamburger icon, but the 3 yellow lines, and we'll give you some additional options on your teacher dashboard account. I will go into this language one in more detail here in a minute, but just know that we do offer 28 languages currently that you can change the main dashboard to. I find that it's very helpful on the student dashboard to also access it this way so that it changes it from their view. But know that that's available for you as well if you're modeling for students, or if you have English as a second language as well. Also, as you can see here, I'll let you look at these, but another shortcut to home, quick shortcut to your classrooms, account information, pricing, help center, and all the fun things here with CodeMonkey. From here, though, the main tab here is My Classrooms. This is where I find that most of us live when we come here to our teacher dashboard. And under My Classrooms, the first thing I'd like to show you is the Add New Classroom. This is one of many options or ways to create your CodeMonkey classes. So if your district is manually creating them and just using an SSO, you'll come here to this Add New Classroom. You have options here to either create a new one and name it, or another option is you can import directly from Google Classroom if you are someone who uses that. So you'll click there and sync with your Google account and be able to pull those directly, and it will pull the exact name of the Google Classroom, as well as the students that are rostered in that classroom will pull in there as well. I'm going to show you from the Create New. So let's pretend like I'm creating a new, we'll just call this CodeMonkey Pilot Classroom. You can name it what you'd like. Under the subscription, it'll probably say Pilot 2024-25 school year or something like that there, because that's what we've named it for you. And then you can choose your school as well. So if there's maybe, if it's not just one school on your license or your subscription, there might be multiple in a district, you can choose yours specifically, and that'll just help for reporting with data. And then you can say, create my classroom, and it will populate here now in your classrooms. You can either from here, go ahead and add students, or say done and do this step later. But I'm going to go ahead and say add students from here. And as you can see, we have 3 options for creating those or rostering the students when you're manually creating classrooms. You can select to do 1 child at a time and choose a username and password if you'd like. You can do the multiple or bulk if you'd like. So if you select here, it's going to let you and walk you through how to use a CSV file and even give you an example of a file to help you mass upload those, be more efficient. As well as, I think this is our most popular option here, is using the class code. And so you can use your single sign-on like ClassLink, Clever, sorry, I'm looking at the chat as well, ClassLink, Clever, as well as Microsoft Office 365, and then just give them the class code to be able to join and roster on the first day of class. So you can select that if you'd like, and it'll give you that class code from here. You can regenerate it if you don't like the combination that we've given you here of letters and numbers, as well as you can customize it if you want to lock it down and only let students sign in with Google or Office 365 or Clever, ClassLink, any of those options, as well as your domain. So know that that's there as well. Let me come back to that here. Also, so just keep in mind, that is when you are creating your own classroom here on your own, and then rostering your students. Remember that you might need to ask your district administrator if you are ClassLink or Clever rostered already. They may already be here for you. So it kind of depends on your school and or district. From here, the next thing I'd like to show you is, just keep in mind, some people don't always notice this, but I like to call it the skinny snowman or the more options button. We have hidden some gems in here. We have different types of reports to help you as you get started working with your students, as well as a tool called Search for Students. If a student, you want to quickly find a student, but you're not sure, you have a lot of CodeMonkey classrooms and you forget which one they're located in, you can type in their first or last name. It'll help you quickly locate them. As well as if you decide to archive a classroom or student, you can come back and find them, as well as transfer students to classrooms as well. So just know that that is there in your More Options button. So what I'd like to show you is the power behind our teacher dashboard here. Once you've created your classrooms and you've rostered your students, you can go ahead and go into them to find out more information. So I'm going to use my test classroom here to come in and kind of show you the power behind this dashboard. So once we're here, the first thing I like to always make sure is that I check, am I in the correct classroom? If not, I can toggle easily right here in the top right corner if I want to move to a different CodeMonkey classroom that either I have manually created or rostered for my district. So I am in my test classroom where I want to be. The second thing I like to check is, am I on the correct course if I want to see the progress? Maybe I just taught CodeMonkey Junior sequencing and loops, so I want to be on that course. So make sure you're also on the correct course. Now that I'm here, I like to leave this up. So as a classroom teacher in the past, I would leave it up and walk around on my iPad or leave it up on my desktop as students were physically working in the challenges, because this will update and show you their progress in real time to help you kind of monitor both classroom management wise and also see content wise who might need support right now at this time. So as they work, as I said, these stars will start highlighting. As you can see, we have a star score rating. We have 1, 2, and 3 stars. We will send you more information on this with this webinar, but just know if they get 1 star and it's red, that means that they have completed the challenge. So for an example, in CodeMonkey Junior, that means they got their bananas and got to the treasure chest for that specific course. 2 stars means they did that, as well as they used the coding concept that was just released. If we were at the beginning, that means they also used the sequencing within their coding. And a 3-star rating or star score rating means that they did those 2 things. So they were able to get the bananas to the treasure chest, they used sequencing, and also it was the most efficient and shortest path of code. So that's how they get all 3 stars. And as you can see, I can see all of my students in one place. I can see their star scores. Also from here, something I like to show people is you can click on the child's name or the student's name and get what we call that student activity dashboard. It will tell you their name, the last time they were there. It'll show you their course progress, and you can toggle between courses if you want to kind of get a snippet of how they're doing. It'll tell you the last time they were on, and even more information here on a child. So kind of like a quick snapshot. Something else to note here, like I said, these do highlight in real time, but there's even more power to them. You can look and see quickly and get that whole class view of who might need support. So I kind of see that there are 2 friends here that might need support. I could pull them in a small group to help support them. Also, at any time, maybe I'm pulling them and I want to show what that challenge looks like. I can click here on challenge 4, and it's going to take me to challenge 4 to be able to support those friends here, and with that exact 3-star score rating. So know that that's available to you. Also within here, you can physically click on these stars to find out more information. So it will timestamp. I'm going to click here on Harrison and on this challenge, and I can see his solution. So it timestamps the 2 attempts he has made. And even furthermore, I can click on them. So let's say that as a teacher, first, maybe this one wasn't here, on April 3rd, I could have clicked in, and whether it's during class or after school, I could click and I could see, oh, maybe this wasn't the most efficient path of coding, and I can have a mini lesson with him the next day. Also, maybe I prompted him after April 3rd to do it again, because maybe in our classroom, my expectation is that we get at least 2 stars to make sure we're getting that coding concept. So then he went back and I can see that he did complete that again, and he was able to achieve that. So know that that's there as well. Last but not least, another hidden gem here that maybe people don't realize is you can also limit your progress from here. So maybe I've noticed that I have it on free play right now, but maybe I want all my students to kind of stay at the same level. So from here on out, maybe I want to click and I can say from here, maybe I want my kiddos to stay at one point. Maybe I don't want them to go past challenge 15 into loops. I could have clicked this and I can say, I want to limit it to challenge 15 and apply it. And once they are finished with challenge 15, it will kick those students back to their dashboard and not allow them to continue. So know that that's an option. And then at any time I can turn that back off and come back to free play. So it just depends on your style as a teacher and what you'd like to do. So that is the progress tab. Like I said, a lot of information there, but I think it's very helpful because I love to leave this up when working with students in classrooms so that I can formatively assess them as we go and support them instructionally. The next tab here is students. How you can manage this kind of depends on how you're rostered as a district. If you're doing it manually and you've created your own usernames and passwords, you're going to have more control in here. And if you are rostered, you may not have as many options, because if we are rostering with ClassLink or Clever, we're pulling that data in and you're not going to be able to change their username or their password from here. So know that those options may or may not be available to you. But do know what is available under more actions. Know that at any time, if you'd like to, and I'll show you this in a second, the student view, you can print logins and QR codes. So you could print these out even if you're rostered, and then you could cut these out, pass them out, leave them for a substitute. Just a quick way to help them sign in using the QR code and their username and password. Also within here, just know that you can get a classroom login URL if you want to post this somewhere special in your management system for quick login. As well as the final thing there in more actions is the share the class codes. If you need to pull up that class code again, you can do that. Also from here, yes, if you are manually creating, you can add additional students after you've already created the class, or maybe someone new comes in by just clicking add new students and getting to it that way. As well as over here by the student, there are even more options. So here you can reset their password if it is a manually created account. You can archive the student, so that's going to hide them from your classroom here, but keep their progress and data. We do not delete student progress and data. You can move them to a different classroom if you are using those manually created classrooms. And last but not least, our newest feature that came out in December, you can view a student. So maybe I want to there could be multiple purposes here. Maybe I want to sit next to Harrison and we want to work together from his dashboard, and I want that progress to stick there. I can click view as student. And as you can see here now, it's telling me at the bottom banner, I am now viewing Harrison's account. And I'm physically looking at what he sees. So we could work together on a course here together, and his progress would still be there and guide him. As well as I've found that some teachers use this to kind of check out if there's any technical issues. They can do that as well to be able to support or take a screencast to send us. So just know that that option's available. And when you want to get out of the view as Harrison, you just click this exit student view, and it's going to take you right back to your teacher dashboard where you left off. So very helpful feature. The next tab here is your courses tab. Here you can explore our courses and find out more information. You can assign them from here, all of the things. By coming here, as you can see, you can read more information if you want to know more about it, play it yourself, view lesson plans, all in one place. And then the next tab here is quizzes. This is something that we have found helpful, that can be more of a summative assessment for you, kind of depending on your grade level, but you can come here to the quizzes tab, and we have a quiz for every coding concept. For block-based, it's going to be Beaver Achiever. For text-based, it's Coding Adventure. And for our Python, it's the Banana Tales. And as you can see, we have a course for each coding concept, or a quiz for each coding concept. To assign them, all you have to do is click this Assign to Class, and it's going to either let you just keep it open, or you can even put a due date on it if you'd like and select that. You can also unassign, as you can see, view those results once they have completed it, as well as try it yourself as a teacher. What's really neat is these are challenges that are similar to the courses, but they're new. So it is that true summative assessment, and they haven't seen it before. Also, if you don't choose to come here to view the results, you can also view the quiz results from this second tab within quizzes. And it's going to let you see how your children did, so that you can report those if needed. The next tab here is Gradebook. Through the Gradebook, you can select up to 3 courses if you'd like to get the grades for students. You can change them in numbers, letters, or percentages, as well as export those if you need to for grading purposes. The next tab is Proficiency. So that's that overarching view of our different coding concepts within computer science, so that you can see. Keep in mind, though, that their progress is taken into account for every single course. Also, some of these may appear lower if they maybe haven't gotten to a level, in our opinion, that is the more beginner or intermediate. So even though this student has done sequencing. Maybe they haven't done sequencing in Beaver Achiever and Coding Adventure to be able to say that they are intermediate or advanced within sequencing. So that will change over time. I recommend you wait for at least a full school year or 2 school years of implementation using with students until you really keep a lot of weight within this proficiency. And last but not least is our showroom tab. This is where the games and challenges for that CodeMonkey Classroom lie. A great thing about our subscription is students also are able to create their own games and challenges when those are assigned. Once you've assigned it and they've created them, they will appear here for you to manage. As you can see, you have to toggle back and forth between games or between challenges. And then you can see them from your students within that particular classroom, as well as you have your options here to share, edit, work on them, and delete it if they're not something that that's appropriate. Also from here is where we can turn off the Discover, and I'll talk to you more about that when we get down to our Discover tab as a teacher, but also as a student. So a lot there within the My Classrooms tab. Let's go ahead and move down to class assignments. That's also after you get your CodeMonkey Classrooms created, you've rostered your students, you need to make sure that something is assigned so your students can get started. We do go ahead and assign our monthly courses as well as the first of each core course. So you also might need to come in and unassign those once you get on your subscription for the very first time. Keep in mind also, we do have this amazing filtering option that we've added this school year to help you narrow it down and help you. So if at any time you notice, oh no, I don't see all of my courses here across, just make sure you check your filters and make sure it's set on either all main courses, mini, or select all if you just want to see absolutely everything, and click apply. And then it will update and you will be able to see them all. So from here, you can physically see all of, and I prefer to come here to assign them because I can see all of my classrooms at once and bulk assign. So once you see them, you can come over here and look for the course. Also make sure you slide this to be able to see all those course offerings. Let's say maybe I'm ready to assign the last one for now of CodeMonkey Junior and Procedures. To do that, all I have to do is simply find the classroom I want to assign it to and click the little plus button, and it's going to turn green. If I want to assign it, I can also click the X. It'll turn gray, and now I've unassigned it. You can also lock the progress like we discussed back on that progress tab from here in one swoop. So once it's assigned, you can click that down arrow and say set progress limits, and it will automatically load all of the challenges here. And then you can change that. So let's say maybe in the lesson plans, it said just to go to challenge 5 that day, and I'm following those. Make sure I click on, I change that to 5, and I'm going to push the enter button on my keyboard, and now it's telling me it's successfully updated. So once students get to that challenge 5 that I wanted them to stop at that day, it is going to kick them back to that student dashboard and no longer let them continue working on the next challenge. And at any time, you can set it back and go back to free play. The next tab I'd like to quickly show you are your courses tab. This is great because under courses, you as a teacher can explore them from the student view, as well as you can use this to model with students if you want to, whether we're referring to it in our lesson plans or you just want to get on a model for your kiddos, the challenge that day, you get the exact same view. We still also have the filtering available up here. So if at any time you want to change that, maybe to say, you know what, right now I'm really looking at main courses. And also, I'm getting started with my friends, so I am going to uncheck, and I just want to see right now novice or beginner courses, maybe main courses. I don't really want the mini courses or the seasonal activities right now. And I really just want to focus on coding maybe. And I can say apply. And now it's going to show you our offerings that apply to what I've filtered it out as. So maybe I want to start here at CodeMonkey Junior. To go ahead and explore, you simply click on the course. Like I said, this is the same student view, and you can say continue coding. When you get started, you'll say continue coding, but you're going to start at challenge 1. So once you click there, and I think I do have it muted, but just that friendly music there. I'm going to turn that off though. But once you get here, know that as a teacher, you have special powers. You can advance onto challenges at any point, as well as go back and revisit them. Whereas students, they have to complete challenge 1 until they can get to challenge 2 and challenge 3 and so on. So from your story map here in the corner, and all courses have a story map in some location, you can click on it and you can scroll. And like I said, you can go backwards or forwards at any time. So let's say I want to go to challenge 11. I can do that and model it for either try it maybe the night before so I can support my friends, or I can model it on the screen for them before they get started. Once you're here, you can go ahead and model it and drag and drop, as well as this new feature came out just this week. Down here, it's called Load Solution. So if at any time you want to know what that 3-star score is, you can click here and it's going to pop it up for you, and you can run it and model it for kids if you would like to. If at any time I've done this myself, if I've thought of, okay, I want to see it real quick, but now I want it to go away. Instead of having to click into it to make it go away, you can also refresh your screen and it's going to take it back to challenge number 11 without the solution there. So know that that's available for you so that when you're modeling. So that is that courses tab. At any time, remember, if you're not sure how to get back to your dashboard, click on the monkey or the words CodeMonkey and it's going to take you back there. So that is our courses tab. So great for exploring on your own as well as for modeling the courses. The next tab here is your teacher resources. Also probably going to be your best friend in these upcoming months. Know that this is always here for you to explore. You can either locate our teacher resources and our lesson plans from this all courses, or you can also find our resources by type. I do say that I prefer coming here by all courses because usually I know what I'm about to teach specifically with which classroom, and that's what I want to access. So I click in here. Maybe I want to use CodeMonkey Junior, the first lesson. If I click now and access that, I have all of my resources in one place for me to see. I have all of the lesson plans. I have the certificates, the posters, all of the videos in one place, as well as all of the solutions in this second tab if I need them. So that's how I do prefer getting to my resources, is from the actual all courses and finding the specific course. But no, anytime, like I said, you can come here and find them all separately. Also here, you will find other helpful things, but I do also want to spotlight our coding curriculum map. So if you're not sure where to start and what the standards are for each course, you can click there and it's going to download our scope and sequence document, which is also going to be included in this recording. And it's going to kind of give you, in our opinion, our guidance on if you started with, because it could be a full curriculum for kindergarten through 8th grade and up. If you started in kindergarten, we recommend starting with CodeMonkey Junior. It's going to tell you about the lesson plans and about how long it takes to do each lesson, our concept covered, and then as well as our standards. So both the CSTA, computer science, as well and the ISTE standards that are tied to those. And as you can see, our document is very long because we have a lot of lessons and a lot of course offerings to help support you pre-K through 8. So know that that's also available, like I said, in your teacher resources and under coding curriculum map. Also feel free to reach out to us if you're not sure where to start your students. We'd love to help support you. Maybe they're in 3rd grade, but they don't have prior coding experience, and you're wondering, well, where do I start them? Do I start them in CodeMonkey Junior, the very first course, or do I start them in Coding Adventure? So please feel free to reach out to us, and we'd love to help guide you on that. The next tab here is My Creations that just got a nice little makeover. Through My Creations, this is where you see you as a teacher, your games and challenges that you've created. So you can either filter them by games and challenges here, see them all, and create something new. So just like your students, if you assign it, you can create those as well. And last but not least, we have our Discover tab here. This is our community of games and challenges that have been vetted and approved. We are both COPA and FERPA compliant. We make sure we don't include any personal identifiable information of students or teachers. So it does take us a while to look at those if you do try to publish them before they show up here. But know from here that you can go and you can interact and play any of the games and challenges that we've approved around the world. You can heart them, you can use them and share them with students. Students can remake or remix them and use them to help spark their creativity as well to continue working in adding to a game or a challenge. So know that that's there. Also know that if you don't feel like your students are ready for this, you can disable this back within your CodeMonkey classroom under that showroom tab. And I'll show you that here in just a second again. So the next thing I'd like to show you is our student dashboard. I am going to go back to the slides for this so that I can walk you through it. So let's look at exploring the student dashboard now with our remaining minutes. So just like students, or just like teachers, we have some of the same options as well as a new addition here. Students, they can sign in manually if you've created usernames and passwords for them. That would be over here to the left, as you can see. Also, they can single sign on with Google, Clever, Office 365, and ClassLink like teachers, as well as this new addition here, that QR code, because as a teacher, remember I showed you that option in your teacher dashboard under the Students tab. You can generate those QR codes. So as long as they have a device that's camera enabled, they can scan that if they click this QR code option and sign in that way for efficiency. Also, don't forget that students can be rostered if your district has a site license or a district license and they're using Clever and ClassLink. We can use that through the portals as well to sign in. Here is that general view of the student dashboard. As you can see, there are some things that are similar, but there are some things that are different. There are less options for them, which is great to help them narrow in and focus on their work. The first thing I do like to guide teachers is to train your students so that when they get on, make sure that they do see that it is their name up here in the top. So it'll always have that on the banner, welcome, and their name, especially if you're using shared devices in your district. Sometimes we know that a friend might walk away from your classroom and they've accidentally left their account up and the next friend comes in on that shared device. And we just want to make sure their progress and data gets to the correct spot. So train them to look, is this my name? The next thing under that, that'll be their CodeMonkey classroom. Am I in the correct classroom? As well as in the top banner, they can kind of quickly see what their progress and their current course they're working on, their achievements. That's always something fun for students. And they can also click this continue coding button. So if they were with you yesterday in related arts, maybe for computer science, and they left off on challenge 10 and they come in the next day, they can just click continue coding and it'll take them right back to challenge 10 within CodeMonkey Junior. So that's very helpful to help them narrow and focus. Also, something I wanted to showcase, like I showed you in the student dashboard as well, that top right, what I call that hamburger icon, or the three yellow lines, students can also change the language. So maybe if a student's coming to you and English is their second language, remember we have 28 options there, and I do recommend the student changing their language instead, not the teacher on their dashboard, so that it's just on their device to help guide and support them to make them feel successful. So the first tab here for students is called courses. That's where they're going to be able to see the courses that are assigned by you as a teacher. If students get in and they say, I don't have any courses here, that means that you as a teacher need to get in and you need to assign something for them. They should not be able to see or access things that they're not quite ready for. So if they aren't at that point within their coding journey, or if you haven't assigned it, it might be grayed out or locked. The next tab there is their creations. So just like you had a My Creations tab, if you've assigned our course, our Game Builder and Challenge Builder, then students will have this tab and be able to create new games and challenges and then publish them. What's really cool is once they publish them, they can either keep them locked down in private on just their dashboard. They can put them in what we call the classroom, so they can publish it there so that just students within the classroom can see it. And then finally, they can try to publish them to Discover. And like I said, that we will vet those and approve them, and then they would pop up in that last tab called Discover. So that's really cool that students have the power and creativity abilities there to create their own games and challenges to really show that they understand those coding concepts. And last but not least, if you've enabled it, the Discover tab will be there for students. This is where they will be able to explore that community of games and challenges from students around the world. And don't forget, you can disable that. So that is back within your teacher dashboard. When you're looking at the CodeMonkey classroom under the last tab, Showroom, you can toggle that off if you feel like your students just aren't quite ready for that yet, and you can introduce it later. Something else also within there is their student profiles. I forgot to mention that. So just like at the beginning when I showed you with teachers, students can click on that icon and they can also change their avatar and their banner and all those things as well. So where do we go now? Getting started. Like I said, I'm really excited for you all. I hope that you've learned a lot of information about your teacher dashboard, as well as seeing that view of what the student dashboard looks like and the capabilities as well. But first, you need to make sure you're signing into your teacher account. Can you get signed in? If not, who do you need to contact there within your district to make sure that you have a username and password to get started? And then also we have our customer success here to help support the district technicians as well with that. Next is make sure if you are manually creating them as a district, you need to go ahead and create your classrooms and roster those students. Whether that's you are giving them a username and password, whether you're using the class code with single sign-on, check that out. If your district has chosen to have a site or district license and you're rostered fully through ClassLink or Clever, that's great. Those are there for you. But everyone should need to check your rostered classrooms. So do go in and spot check. Are all of my classrooms there that I need within CodeMonkey? Within there, click on it and go to that student tab. Are all of my students that are supposed to be in that classroom there? If not, who do I need to contact within my school and or district to make sure that that's there? Next, you need to assign courses. If the courses aren't there, our kids can't explore and start their coding journey. So make sure that you assign those to single and multiple classrooms. And last but not least, make sure that once you get kiddos on, you're monitoring that progress. So leave up that progress tab when you're in the classroom and you're moving around and working with your kids, and use that to plan your next instructional steps. All of these things will be in that guide that we attach to this recording. So know that although we showed it quickly, you will always have that guide with those visuals to help support you as well. So at this time, I want to see if anyone that's on live right now has any questions. I'm trying to kind of watch the chat and see. Let me also go back to our Q&A. Okay, so I see that Angie has answered someone's question that they had specifically. Does anyone want to unmute and ask a question at this time? You can type it in the chat, anything, whatever's best for you all. Okay, I think that was enough wait time. Thank you all. Okay, so thank you for joining us today. And whether you're on here live with us right now or you're joining us on the recording later, we really appreciate you being here. We're excited to partner with you for the rest of the school year. Just know, also don't forget to tag us if you see anything neat going on at CodeMonkey STU on any of our social media outlets. Also visit our help center if you need help. That link will also be with this recording, as well as if you have a designated customer support representative, please reach out to them. And you can always email support@codemonkey.com if you need that immediate assistance. Thank you all so much for being here, and we look forward to starting that coding journey on your pilot with you. Bye, everyone.
Bye now.